whisper his name.
Right. Candyman.
It's just a story.
Candyman.
Candyman.
Just a ghost story.
Candyman.
To a mythical figure.
The legend first appeared in 1890. He was attacked, mutilated, and burned to death. Poor Candyman.
Helen, a woman died in there. Leave it.
Everyone knows he isn't real.
That's modern oral folklore.
Everyone. Except Helen Lyle.
Bernadette. It ain't safe around here.
I don't scare too easy. Wanna know about Ruthie Jean? They ain't never gonna catch him. Who? Candyman.
Who is that?
I came for you.
Do I know you?
Now she is about to discover
Helen?
Get out! Get out!
what's behind the mystery.
I'm sick.
What's behind the legend.
Listen, he's under the bed!
And most terrifying of all,
Come with me.
what's behind the mirror.
He's here.
Candyman. You don't have to believe. Just beware.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here checking in on you. YouTube land, how are we doing? How was your weekend? I hope it was great. Hope you got to do everything you wanted to, relax a little bit, watch some scary movies, that whole bit. I'm doing great. We're talking about one of my favorite horror movies from Clive Barker. I might go on record and say it's my favorite horror movie by Clive Barker. We're going to get into it. Candyman is an absolute 10. Give yourself a stretch. Let's unpack this thing. So my history with Candyman started when I was a little kid with the tale Bloody Mary. Anybody remember that? You're supposed to stand in the mirror, for those that don't know, and say her name, Bloody Mary, 5 times, turn off the lights. Was there a candle involved? It's usually kids trying to scare each other, and then she's going to appear in the mirror behind you. Now, when I was talking to some of my friends about this story, I also had one of the worst babysitters ever who overheard me talking about Bloody Mary and said, "Have you heard of Candyman?" I was like, "What are you talking about? What's Candyman?" I was probably like 8 or 9, right? And my babysitter goes on to tell me about this movie where there's this killer that if you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he appears before you with a hook for a hand and he yanks you through the mirror. I was 8. I think it's impossible to talk about Candyman without first talking about Clive Barker. I know that Bernard Rose ended up directing this movie, but this movie wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the short story called The Forbidden by Clive Barker, which I think is just amazing. Absolutely incredible. Clive Barker as a writer actually is one of my favorites. The Hellbound Heart, the Hellraiser story, it's absolutely incredible. His short stories, yeah, they get the job done. The Books of Blood, if you haven't seen those, go read those now. Those are super short, super good. But he'd had a couple of successful movies, you know, obviously Hellraiser, Nightbreed, Rawhead Rex, you know, it's charming, it's got its moments, but anyway, the short story The Forbidden becomes Candyman, and in 1992 it becomes its own feature. And also impossible to talk about is the character Candyman played by Tony Todd. That same Tony Todd from Night of the Living Dead, awesome character actor, and he just kills this role. Crushes it. Tony Todd, his voice, Helen, everything about him, the way he walks, the way his eyes move towards you, the way he motions towards you with that hook. Tony Todd is a revelation in the horror genre. He goes on to like Final Destination. He's got bit roles and a whole bunch of other things, but this was his landmark role for me. I absolutely love Tony Todd, everything he touches. Also in the role of Helen was Virginia Madsen, who she kind of had it going on back then in the early 90s, where she plays this writer who wants to do her thesis on kind of urban legends and things that go bump in the night in, you know, popular culture things like alligators, you know, are in the sewer, right? And it's a popular myth that goes on in New York media. Everything that the urban society is afraid of is what she wants to focus her thesis on, and she does a killer job, we think. It leads her to obviously want to investigate this Candyman murder in Cabrini Green, a suburb of Chicago, where they're building all these property complexes over the ghetto and trying to merge. There's a lot of gentrification and hidden meaning behind this whole story, and she does a great job. Can we also talk about Candyman's rusty hook as one of the best weapons in horror villain history, next to Robert Englund's glove in Freddy Krueger on Nightmare on Elm Street? I don't know. I mean, Texas Chain, I mean, there's a couple of things that are iconic. The Candyman hook just hanging on by dear life, and it just rips you through your gullet. The Candyman hook is one of the most iconic horror villain weapons of all time. If you haven't seen Candyman by now, I don't know what to tell you. This film must be seen. I think it's an absolute 10. It's an allegory for society. It's got everything that you need. That cover is iconic. It hooked me, right? Absolutely love Candyman. Get out there and watch it. I'm going to try not to spoil too many of the clips, but we're going to throw some stuff in there with you. And appreciate you guys being here. Check out Candyman. Can't wait to talk to you again. If you could, like, comment, subscribe, talk some shit, what you like, what you don't like. I just appreciate hearing from you. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Murder! 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 Help me! He's here! He's under the bed! Help me!
I don't understand.
Help! Please! He's here! Help me! Help me! Please!
That,
He's under the bed! He's under the bed!
that's not possible. Bernadette. I'm not capable of that. No matter what's going wrong, I know one thing, that no part of me, no matter how hidden, is capable of that. I can prove it.
How?
I can call him. Candyman. 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 Candyman.
You're mine now. Tonight our congregation shall witness a new miracle.
I hear you looking for Candyman, bitch. Well, you found him.